Welcome beauties to Yoga Ocean Slow Flow. I'm Gemma and I'll be guiding you for an hour through a slower vinyasa flow of yoga asana, some pranayama and meditation, and maybe a yin posture at the end. So let's find a comfortable seat to begin. So I'm going to place the block, and if you haven't got a block, some books or any little seat that you might have, pillows rolled over together. So lots of people have yoga props these days, they're so available, and so I'll use my block. And then I'm bringing my legs into Sukhasana position, easy pose. And my heels will come to the midline of the body. And then that allows my knees, when my sit bones are equally poised on the block, even pressure, right and left, my knees to be lower than my hips. And then that allows me to activate the postural muscles, tone them just slightly, not really deep pelvic floor lifting. Around the perineum a little lift, the belly draws back and in, the collarbones broaden out because the shoulder blades are going to come and hug the back of the heart. Oftentimes it's good to start noticing how you are sitting before you adjust posture. But today let's start with adjusting our posture to that tall spine so we allow the prana, the vital life force, to flow through our body and energy bodies around us. So as you find that length through the back of the neck as well, the crown will lift and you'll feel that sense of, from the base chakra right up through all of the energy centers and the central meridian, Shushumna, this crown lifting. It feels really good just to feel that, and maybe do a little few shoulder rolls and start to feel ourselves coming into the space that we're creating, a little sacred bubble around us. Feels good to roll the shoulders forward, back and down. And I'm closing my eyes, or sometimes softening the gaze so the eyelids are not quite closed. Whatever feels comfortable for you, feeling safe and secure in your space. So now if you feel to, with the shoulders relaxed down away from the ears, collarbones long and broad, elbows are soft and hanging, and then maybe the back of the hands down, palms up. Perhaps you'd like to take a mudra. Oftentimes we take thumb and first finger together in jnana. Or today I'm focusing on, because it's the beginning of 2025, it's exciting but also challenging, new opportunities arriving, wonderful energy flooding in to Mother Earth and to all of us with these magnificent geomagnetic storms and solar flares. They do affect us. So yoga helps to modulate that and to regulate our nervous system. I'm taking Apana mudra, which is thumb and the two middle fingers touching at the tips, and then I'm gently opening the other fingers. And it's about new beginnings, fresh start, moving into the new year with the kind of energy that we wish to continue on with. So I'm softening my shoulders and my elbows and lengthening through the back of the neck, lifting the belly button, the navel toward the spine, and lifting gently the perineum area. My chin is parallel to the floor, so that lengthens the back of the neck and lifts the crown. As we breathe in through the nose, our belly expands, and then the heart expands, and then we breathe out through the nose. We'll take a breath in through the nose this time, breathing out through the mouth. with that out breath through the mouth 2 more times. We're letting it go and releasing and softening the shoulders even more. Starting to really feel connected in our space as we continue to breathe consciously. We start to inhale for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for longer, and the count will be when I have stopped talking for 8, 7, 8. In for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 5. Roll it over gently and out for 8 counts in your own divine timing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Can you bring one hand to your heart center? Continue with leaning into that out breath. And we're cultivating now feelings of gratitude, appreciation for ourselves and this opportunity to regulate our nervous system and move into the sphere of self-love, self-compassion. Gratitude expands the heart. We're continuing to exhale for longer than the in-breath. There might become a feeling of softening down even more, and a smile to the corners of the mouth as you start to bring your energy more fully into your body, calling it back from wherever it may have been a little scattered, maybe even shattered at times. Sometimes splintered, spirit and soul, not fully embodied. We're calling that back now. And feeling our physical body, perhaps with that heart focus now, you can take your hand down because we remain focused on breath and heart, gratitude, longer out breath. Feeling our body from the heels and toes, the sole of the feet, right up the inner legs, across the knees to the thighs. We're noticing the terrain of our body externally. Noticing our beautiful physical vessel around the buttocks, the belly, the lower belly, the pelvic girdle, the bones of the pelvis, and up through the middle torso, the rib cage, soft ribs, all the organs. We're giving them some love by noticing them. We bring our energy and notice the topography around our chest and upper back, across the collarbones again, and shoulders down the arms. Notice how the shoulders sink down as we focus on them. Elbows, lower arms to wrists and hands. Feeling into this sacred gesture, the mudra apana, that we are holding creates a psychoneural circuitry. So the energy running through us falls into a beautiful circuit pattern, replenishing the prana, the chi, organs, soul force, the life force. We're enhancing now. Continuing with that longer out breath, we feel the whole of the neck, the face, around the ears, the back of the head, to the crown, and then awareness down the back body, the whole of the shoulders and neck, thoracic, down to the lumbar region, across the hips and buttocks and down the back of the legs, again to the ankles and the soles of the feet to the toes. We're in our body and we're noticing our emotions now. If you feel comfortable to stay seated for a little longer, breathing longer with the out breath, you are bringing your brain and your heart into coherent fields. So the sine waves synchronize together and the brain and the heart work together as one organ. Coherence fields of energy. Noticing our emotions now. They may have shifted already to fluctuations a little slower and softer. Notice what's been happening for you today, maybe impacted by Christmas and the New Year. Just awareness. Able to step back and observe the emotions moving through us. It's just energy in motion. Emotion. We ride the wave. Acknowledge. Perhaps name it. Not necessarily. Just feeling. And we allow the wave of emotion to move through us, safe and secure that we can tolerate feeling things. Noticing thoughts, closely aligned but not emotions. They impact each other. Are they cycling patterns? Is it one particular thought? Can we notice it? Once again with that sacred observer mode, able to look on and notice, there's that thinking pattern again. I might not follow that very far today in this moment, and now I bring my attention and focus to my breath, my heart, my body. Beauties, let's open the palms and reach them out around our body. Inhaling, look up, palms together. We're finding Anjali Mudra and drawing that energy, the prana, down through the crown into the heart space. Feel it going down through the base chakra and the earth star in the body of Gaia to her beautiful heart. Feel that energy rising up into our body, into our heart, and again the energy rising up through the crown, further up to the heart of the cosmos and divine source. Beautiful, let's breathe in again. Feel the belly, feel the lungs, reach up and exhale down to heart center. Beautiful, well done with coherence breath and meditation to align our energy fields. So let's now take our block away and come over and find a child pose. I'll move to the side. We're going to bring our knees out about as wide as the mat, or maybe not that wide, maybe even wider. What's your capacity today? We'll breathe in tall, drop the shoulders down, draw the belly up and in, and then we walk hands out. Maybe you have a block here. I'm going to lay my forehead down and just relaxing my arms. I'll show you what it looks like with a block there. Walking hands out and the block is down. The energy of this pose is the hips back and down. Staying in your child pose, Balasana, I'm just demonstrating that even though we're reaching forward, the energy is back and down with the hips sinking low. I'll just take the block away so that I can feel from my body what feels best, which is to lay my whole body down as much as I can, sinking down and allowing this lovely lengthening out through the lumbar and sacral region, right from the tailbone. And it's a gentle external rotation of the hips. So you'll feel, staying in Balasana if it's okay, you'll feel a gentle stretch through the inner thigh as well. So we're breathing here, focusing on our breath and noticing how that little constriction as we forward fold allows us to breathe into that resistance on the mat or on our thighs. Breathing in and exhaling out. On the next inhale, we're going to rise up to our fingertips and then exhale down. And while we're down, we'll lift the fingertips so that the elbows come off the mat and we're reaching long. So that's really accentuating into the underarms and the muscles of the rotator cuff. We exhale down and we'll do that again. Lifting up, inhaling, and exhaling down. One more time, inhaling onto fingertips and exhale down. We'll just push back gently, rising up, bring the knees in. Maybe you need to place a cushion here, and I'll demonstrate with a blanket because that's quite deep knee flexion there. Perhaps this helps, or even something more like a bolster. And I'll just take my fluffy jumper off because a little bit of movement, doesn't have to be a lot of movement to create some heat in the body. Wonderful. We want our muscles lovely and warm as we move into further asana. So I'll take that out now as we bring the hands to the mat and step our knees back. We're going to find our cat-cow. Vitalasana and Majariasana, Sanskrit pronunciation. So wrists and shoulders are in alignment, and we're bringing the shoulders away from our ears and lengthening through the back of the neck and the crown to the tailbone. The coccyx is a long line of energy. We're finding neutral spine here, and we've got our knees and our hips in alignment, as well as the wrists and the shoulders. So if I were not in neutral spine, I might be sagging down this way, or I might be sideways, but we're just finding that lovely, even posture of crown to tailbone. Draw the belly up. So if you notice, I'm sinking down here, and I'm going to draw that belly up, navel to spine. Lift through the perineum slightly, and notice that I'm looking at the mat with a chin tuck slightly, not fully down here and not opening the throat here, just neutral. Beautiful. On the in-breath, we gaze up, chin lifts, and our belly moves towards the mat and our sit bones rise. On the exhale, we move and flow the other way, spinal flexion, and drawing the navel up, tucking the chin, dropping the crown, and separating our shoulder blades. On the inhale, we move the other way, maybe elbows bend, and maybe we tuck the toes. A little toe flexion here, we're breathing in, and then as we breathe out, we move the other way. Doesn't it feel glorious to move in a slow cat-cow? Spinal flexion and extension. Here we're in extension, and then we flex, navel to spine, crown drops down, chin tucks in, the shoulder blades separate away from each other, and we'll do one more. Breathing in, moving one breath, one movement. Exhale. Lovely work. Leaving the tops of the feet down, we're going to take the weight into the right hand and lift the left arm open. Now, wherever you come to is fine. Maybe this is as far as you have range of motion. But if you can, lifting as high and as far as you can not overextending at the beginning of our practice. As we exhale, we thread that hand, back of the palm, and we're floating that shoulder using the right arm to support us. The back of the hand goes down and we're looking towards our left hand, and then we inhale and look up. On the exhale, we thread the needle. Beautiful. I'm going to come to face front to show you that the back of the hand is down and the shoulder is floating, and I'm looking back past my right shoulder. Inhale again. Now we're opening the body a little more if we feel to. Back of the hand down. This time the shoulder comes down. Left cheek onto the mat. And you can leave your hand here. Or if you feel to raise that arm up, it's a little balance here. And here you might stay, or option to turn the palm, bend the elbow and find a bind, maybe even tucking hand around down the thigh there, or just laying it at the lower back. What we want to do is open this shoulder as much as we can. Breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. Inhale that bound hand back to here, or this is where you may have stayed, and we'll inhale one more, body opening, heart melts to the side, breathe in and exhale down to find our 4 points. We'll sit back and find a narrow child pose. So that is knees in close together and we're sitting back onto our heels, and we'll bring our hands this time down beside the body with the back of the hands down, palms up. We allow the shoulder blades to drape down and away from each other. So the crown drops down and we're hugging around the body. Focusing on your breath, staying for one more breath in and out. On the next in-breath, we bring the hands around and we'll move to our thread the needle on the other side. Find our 4-point, shoulders and wrists in alignment, knees and hips in alignment. We're opening the right side body now. Breathe in, look up, and then we exhale and float that hand through. Back of the hand goes down and maybe the shoulder is just hovering. We're allowing that elbow to be at 90 degrees. And then we inhale and exhale. We're looking back towards that right hand. We inhale, and this is the time where we lay the shoulder down if it's available. Maybe it's not. Maybe you have a block here, so that as you lay down, your cheek can come to the block. And of course, you don't have to lift this left arm. If you do feel to, it's a little balancing here. And we turn the palm, maybe we find a bind. Left shoulder opens. Breathe in, exhale. In-breath finds us unwinding, bringing that hand back down. Maybe that's where it stayed. And then as we sweep our block to the side, we bring hands out. This time we'll find, I'll just fix my hair for a moment. This time, instead of child pose, we'll find extended puppy, Anahatasana. So with our child pose, we sank our hips back. This time, we're keeping our knees and our hips in the same line as we walk our hands forward. Walking our hands forward. Maybe we have a block here for the forehead because we're going to lower down, hips and knees stay in alignment, and maybe our forehead comes to the block. Notice our arms are really long and we're opening through that underarm. If you're not using the block and you have the range to bring the forehead right down to the mat, notice how that feels. So we're gently separating the shoulder blades just slightly so that we have an external rotation. And staying in Anahatasana while I just shimmy back to talk about shoulder blades just slightly protracting so that the arms move this way, the top of the arms move slightly. It's actually in external rotation. Breathe in and breathe out. This is quite an intense pose, so as we come back, we're just going to sink hips back, and just walk our fingers back into a child pose. Narrow legs, bring the hands back down beside, lay the back of the hands down, and sink the head down over the knees, staying in your child pose for 2 full breaths. We're moving really slowly. This is a gentle asana practice. We're focusing on our breath and being very connected with the body in every way that we move. Loving our sacred vessel, moving with respect and honouring what's available for us, and not playing the edge too much that we're overstretching or trying too hard. Yoga's practice, we're not perfecting anything. Beautiful. So rising up from your child pose, let's walk the hands forward, and I'll turn side on again for you, because from here, with our knees and hips in alignment, we're going to walk hands forward again, but just bring the body so that the hips come down, but we're not sinking them right down. We're holding a plank. Now, if I relax my belly, it looks like this. If I draw it up and in, I'm really activating transverse abdominis and the other core muscles that create like a cylinder from the diaphragm to the pelvic floor. So the top of the feet are down, shoulders are away from the ears, shoulder blades are just gently protracting away from each other, and we're long through the back of the neck, crown lifted. Can you feel your core working? So it's like you have a corset on. Staying in plank while I just explain, that corset isn't just the belly coming in, it's drawing in from all sides. Beautiful. This is Phalakasana, a low Phalakasana. Can you bring those elbows in close to the body rather than out here? Bring them in close and tight, and then allow them to bend backwards as you lower yourself down to the mat. Just bring my props out of the way. Beautiful. So we have our hands, fingers splayed here, middle finger pointing forward, top of the feet are really anchoring down, and we're lifting the kneecaps, so that protects our knees. Lift those kneecaps up, anchor through the pubic bone, and then can you bring the belly button, the navel, up to the spine? Maybe you create a space, or maybe a potential space here. Draw the shoulder blades now together. So the shoulder blades are hugging over the back of the heart, and then we're starting to lift up as we inhale. Maybe we don't come very far. We're really activating the muscles down here, the posterior chain. Beautiful. Shoulder blades squeezing together. This is Cobra, Bhujangasana. Baby Cobra. So we'll lift up as we inhale. Exhale. Fold forward. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Elbows are in tight to the body, and exhale down. Beautiful. Just take a rest. Let the hips relax. A gentle massage, and we'll place the hands out in a T shape, yoga melt. Right cheek comes down to the mat. Inhale. Feel the belly and the heart expanding onto your mat, and feel that connection down deep into Mother Earth. Maybe an out breath through the mouth.
We're cultivating Ujjayi breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose and creating a little constriction at the back of the throat. It creates an ocean kind of breath, ocean sounding. Anchor through the top of the feet, lift the kneecaps, draw the belly up and in, shoulder blades come together, and we're lifting up a little bit higher maybe. Do you have that amount of back extension? Maybe not. Stay with low cobra. We inhale and lift up, and we exhale and roll down. Inhale. We're not arching the throat too much, we're just lifting up. Beautiful. And exhale down. Next time we push up through the hands, back through our 4 points, and sit back to our child pose. Now we're going to flow through that little sequence. On the inhale, we rise up, we find our plank, hold here for a moment, inhale, exhale, elbows in close to the body, whole body comes down. Next inhale, we lift up to cobra and exhale back to child pose. We're inhaling to plank. Shoulders hug down, shoulder blades hug down the back of the heart. Draw the navel up and in. Elbows in close to the body, lower the whole body down. Inhale, cobra. Push back to our child pose. Beautiful, everyone. So we've done a fair amount of work with our wrists in flexion. So let's just give them a little gentle flexion extension, and then a rotation inwards and outwards. So now if it feels okay to place your hands down very gently here with the back of the hands down, and we're not going to lean fully on the hands like this, and maybe you do one at a time. So one hand palm down, one back of the hand, and we're just going to lean back. I'm going to do two at the once. I'm just leaning back and creating some tension around the back of the wrist. Beautiful. And now I'm turning them this way so that the palms are down, but the fingers are pointing back towards my knees. So here might be where we land, or maybe we gently allow an opening through the front of the forearm. Coracobrachioradialis, I believe. Beautiful. Now careful with carpal tunnel, and we're just trying to enhance that wrist flexion and extension, wrist movement, wrist mobility, mobility in all of the joints. And I'll be doing some yin videos as well, because yin is so important in yoga practice, to melt the fascia, allow the muscle fibre to lengthen, and allow the bones to gently move apart from each other, creating space. One of the most beautiful aspects of yoga, the union, the yoking, the bringing together of body, mind and spirit, is how much space we create and how much toxin clearing is enabled through our breath and our movement. Beautiful. So coming to tuck the toes, and really tuck the toes. So we're in a toe flexion now. I do focus on these, the fingers and the toes and the hands and the feet, because they become neglected and they affect the rest of our body. Even the tongue, when we focus on relaxing the tongue, and the eyes, they all tone the parasympathetic nervous system in really impactful ways. And I know that I neglected my feet a few years ago and have developed bunions, so now I have to accommodate, especially with balance, surprisingly. Well, it was surprising for me.
And I'm sharing because at this graceful age, we have things that, according to postures and ways that we've lived, and I'm talking a lot because we're avoiding noticing how much our toes are in flexion. And that is really affecting the plantar fascia here. So it's allowing that fascia to just start to melt a little, and that will affect the hamstring tension. So let's take a break from that. I share things, let's use fists so that we're not overdoing the wrists. Give the feet a little shake. I feel to be very transparent and share the things that I've done very well with my mobility and flexibility. Let's just roll on to one hip for a moment, but also the things that I have neglected and how that has impacted my body and mind and spirit, and how I then work to ameliorate that, or to fix that, or to navigate around it. Beautiful. So finding ourselves now in a seated position, we're going to work a little more on the core, and we'll just take our hands to the shins, the front of the legs here, and find a tall spine. Drop the shoulders down, hug shoulder blades around the back of the heart space, lifting through the crown. And we're just here already activating the core by drawing the navel back towards the spine and up under the ribs. So it's back and up. Beautiful. Lift through the perineum, the pelvic floor. Our feet are nice and stable on the mat. Beautiful. And now we're going to allow the hands to come away from the shins, and we're going to allow that lower back to just round slightly as we lean back. We don't have to maintain this really rigid. We can just round lightly as we draw the belly up and in. We're still keeping a very strong, straight spine. And maybe we can lift one leg. Breathe in on the out breath. Beautiful. Breathe in, and on the out breath, lift. And inhale. Inhale. Exhale, lift. And inhale again. Inhale. Exhale, lift. And inhale, drop that foot down. Inhale, and on the exhale, leaning forward. Can you reach over and flex the feet and take your toes and wrap the wrists to the toes, rounding through the upper back. Just feel that lovely opening through the whole of the back as you apply a little tension, feet against hands. So one more time in Navasana, just with a little challenge if we feel to. Finding our tall spine, drop the shoulders down, shoulder blades hugging the back of the heart, lifting the hands, gazing forward, find our drishti, a point of focus. Draw the navel up and back, lift one leg, maybe we lift the other. I have to rock back onto my sit bones a bit further, and maybe we hold here. Breathe in and breathe out. Drop the shoulders again, breathe in and breathe out. Our chin is tucked. We're protecting the spine. Beautiful. And we'll exhale one leg down, take hold of the other knee, and exhale and lean forward. And then traction, toes push against, or the mounds of the toes push against the hands wrapped around, so we're separating shoulder blades. Beautiful. Just leaving the feet where they are, walking them out to hip width apart. Sweep the hands around and just lean back a little. Open through the heart space and look up, and open the throat. Beautiful. Tucking the chin and coming back. We're going to just lay down now with finding both of our blocks. Moving into a little bridge flow. So we'll take one block between the thighs, just below the knees. We're going to squeeze there. We're rolling down one vertebra at a time, and we'll take the other block. Let's bring our feet up
And when we reach down, perhaps we move towards being able to touch the heels, and maybe not. We want the knees and the ankles to be in alignment. We're taking the block, short edge between each palm. We're going to squeeze both blocks between the thighs and the hands. Inhale and expand the belly. And then on the exhale, curl the pubic bone towards the sternum and lift the hips up as the hands rise up. Back of the neck is lengthened. And then we exhale down. We inhale, expand the belly. On the exhale, we draw that navel into spine, pubic bone lifts, and we raise the block, this time reaching right overhead. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Squeeze both blocks and exhale down. Block comes to the navel. Squeeze both blocks. Inhale, the belly expands. Exhale, curl the pubic bone up as we raise the hands with the block squeezing both overhead. Lengthen the back of the neck. Tuck the chin. Squeezing and holding, not holding the breath as we exhale down. Let's do one more like this. Inhale, belly. Squeeze both blocks. Exhale, belly to spine. Lift pubic bone. Lift the hips and roll those arms up and over. Lengthen the back of the neck by tucking the chin. Now we'll hold here for a moment. If you feel able, exhale the hands down and then inhale them up. We're holding it strong here. Our glutes, our buttocks are really activated, our hamstrings, and exhale fully down. Beautiful. Let's take both blocks to the side and lay the legs long down the mat. Open palms. Just resting for a moment and closing eyes down, noticing how the energy is moving in and around the body. Perhaps you feel a sigh breath coming. Don't force it. A physiological sigh is a beautiful sign that we are in parasympathetic nervous system toning. Cultivating Ujjayi breath with that little ocean sound. Some people call it Darth Vader. I don't think it is. It's much softer and more sweet than that. Beautiful. Walking feet back in towards our hips and bringing the knees in close to the body. We wrap hands around and give ourselves a gentle massage side to side. Maybe we can bring the knees to come into a circle one way. We're noticing our breath. We're bringing thoughts back to this moment and our beautiful body. And we'll find happy baby, Ananda Balasana. It's more than happy, it's blissful. Ananda means staying where you are, lying down. I'm just moving into the camera a little better. Ananda means bliss. So blissful baby. So from this Apanasa curled in position, fetal position, we're going to leave the knees, bring them out wide, leave them towards the underarms as we just raise the legs, the feet above the knees. Now I know that everyone doesn't have this range, so maybe your knees are here and maybe you can get your feet to here. Whatever is available to you, that is where you go. If we were in full expression, we would bring the feet, the ankles above the knees. We would reach the arms, elbows inside both legs, and then reach the hands to the outer edge of the blade edge of our feet. And then we would plug those shoulder blades down and draw the knees down towards the outer aspect of our underarms. Now, if we're not here and we're more like here, we just can reach either to the inside of the knees and then towards our ankles. Or maybe we reach to the outside and just help to draw the knees towards the underarms. We are actually anchoring the tailbone down. So even though those sit bones are rising, we're anchoring tailbone down. So if I wasn't anchoring down, I would move into a plow, halasana, but I am anchoring down so that the spine becomes very long and fairly flat against the mat. Staying in happy baby, and maybe, if it's available, a gentle massage side to side, a little rocking. It feels so good. So as we find stillness now, lengthen through the back of the neck by tucking the chin. Draw the belly in gently, lift the perineum. We're just going to gently extend the left leg. We've got a foot flexion, that's dorsiflexion with the sole to the ceiling, and we're hugging the other knee still into the underarm on the right side. Now maybe this is how we flow, maybe the knee is bent a little more, or maybe we can open that leg out away from the body. If we had the range, we might be able to take yogi grip, which is peace fingers and the thumb to the big toe, and just allow the weight of the arm to help bring that leg open and out. If we were bent in here and we were holding onto the leg, that would be fine and beautiful. What's there for you today, and what is there for you to work towards? I show full expression, or my full expression, which is not someone else's full expression, of each asana, just to show that there is capacity to build and grow with our practice. So some people might be able to, with their flexibility, bring that foot right down to the floor, and that's not there for me. And that's completely perfect. So wherever you are with your practice, that's beautiful. Let's bring that leg back into our happy baby position, and we'll lengthen the right leg. We're just straightening out the knee as much as we can. And then wherever our hand is guided down the leg, maybe we take our yogi grip around the toe. That creates another bind, a neural and energetic circuitry when we toe bind in this way, in this yogi grip. We breathe in, maybe we close down eyes, we breathe out. We're noticing thoughts as they come in, not following them very far, coming back to our body. This sacred bubble we are in, and feeling the expansion and radiance of our heart as we practice in self-love. We're bringing that right leg back in, and then bringing both knees in close to the body, giving ourselves one last little hug. And then, because we've been flexing at the hip a lot, we're going to really love how it feels to open the legs right down and feel that flush of prana down through the body. Relax the shoulders down. Open the palms up. Breathing in and breathing out. Gratitude at the heart, radiating through the body, energizing every cell, every subcellular component, and the atoms, and the space between the atoms. A wave of energy through the body. Beautiful ones, I'm going to invite you to finish with a pranayama that is Brahmari, and we can do it laying down. It's a vibrational breath where there are variations where we can close our eyes with our hands and block out our ears with our thumbs. But right now for this one, we'll use the whole body as a resonant vibrational toning instrument. So lengthening out through the back of the neck by tucking the chin. We bring the lips together, but the teeth are separated and the tongue is just in between top and bottom palate. We breathe in through the nose, big inhalation, and a long humming breath out. Notice I have hands to my body. I'm going to place one on the belly and one around the heart space, the thoracic cavity, as we breathe in through the nose and hum out. Continuing for 6 more Brahmari breaths. Last one. Silent witnessing. Bringing hands away from the body, relaxing the shoulders down, nestling the shoulder blades in, laying the palms up, back of the hands down, away from the body. Feet are just maybe as wide as the mat or just separated in the same pattern as the arms. If you need a blanket here, cooling down in Shavasana, and I invite you to saturate in the nutrition and abundance of your yoga practice, slow flow. Once again, the sacred observer, allowing ourselves to feel emotion, perhaps a wave of emotion, because moving our body with conscious breath
opens the tissues, alchemizes old stagnant energy, and we release through our breath and our intention and our movement. So allow it to be and notice, honouring your beautiful sacred heart. Awareness of thoughts, thinking patterns, old ideas, just observing without judgment, perhaps an intention to let go of that cyclical, self-deprecating, harsh critic, cycling thinking, looping patterns that are not the truth, are not real, they're just thoughts. And we get stuck. Opportunity to let go. Just observe how it feels in the body to let go. Jaw is softened, shoulders sink, eyes roll back into the back of the head. Beautiful ones. An invitation now to start moving fingers and toes. Feeling your beautiful body as you bend elbows and take hands to body. Maybe you give yourself a little gentle massage across the belly, across the lower thoracic region, or maybe up to the heart. You're feeling yourself very embodied in your body and loving every tissue and organ within and the energy field around you as you start to gently rock head from side to side and then draw the knees, bending them up and reaching out, maybe taking arms overhead for a big stretch. Breathe in, and as we exhale, bringing the hands down and hugging one knee and then the other into our heart and rocking gently side to side. If you feel to tuck the chin up, exhale, and then on the inhale, lengthen out the whole body, feeling very connected to the earth and very embodied with your higher self. Drawing knees in again, we'll just roll onto one side and stay here for a moment. Maybe eyes closed or a soft gaze. A gentle smile to the face.
And then as we push up, we're moving very slowly. Maybe we gaze at the floor, let the head come up slowly, because our blood pressure will need to equalise. I'm bringing myself back to the middle of my mat, looking for my blocks. There they are. And I have a soft gaze down to the mat, just allowing myself to come back with all senses fully. I'm sitting up on the block, and maybe I'll demonstrate Vajrasana this time, which is a hero pose. So I'm going to turn the block lengthways along the mat. This is deep knee flexion, so not for everyone. Maybe if you want to do this, you have a blanket or a bolster in over the top of your heels. And then we're finding that lovely tall spine, which surprisingly feels easier to find. We have gently drawn the energy and the physicality out and up. So we find it perhaps easier to find lengthen our spine, shoulders drop down, chin tucked, crown lifted, and we'll find Anjali Mudra at the heart space. Let's finish with one beautiful grounding and resounding Om, the primordial sacred sound of the multiverse. It starts at the belly, Om. So we'll sweep our hands out around our body, replicating the toroidal flow of electromagnetism around us. It's now more radiant, with our prana qualified and enhanced. We'll do another breath in and exhale out through the mouth. Breathing in now, preparing to chant Om. Let's bring our fingertips to the middle of our forehead, focusing on our third eye. We trust our intuition and create our own reality. We bring our thumbs to our lips, maybe. We speak our truth. Honour our creativity and listen deeply to others. We bow to our beautiful sacred heart, letting our heart lead. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Sharing flow, slow flow. I'm Gemma. This is